Hello teachers! So I wanted to create a very short tutorial for you going over some of the 4 things that I see that a lot of my peers will forget, very minor things when it comes to course setup that are going to make a huge difference in how your students experience your Canvas course. And here I have my little assistant who's going to be a very valuable source for you as well in, generally cuteness today. So, one of the things that a lot of teachers will forget is to actually put on an image for their course and work on their course navigation. Why? I don't know, but it's very simple to do. If you scroll all the way at the bottom of your course navigation, you have your settings. We're going to click on the settings together. Now that we have the settings already loaded, what we're going to do is we are going to choose some kind of image for our students to associate our course. You have to remember that these students are not just seeing your course in the dashboard, they're seeing 8 courses if they're in high school, and you want those visually motivated students to associate your course with some kind of image so it's easier for them to find. So what I want to do is select choose image right here. Here I am, I clicked on my settings, I went to course details, the first one by default, and I'm going to select choose image. And if you already have an image saved to your computer, you can go ahead and upload it to Canvas. If you don't, you can look in a copyright-free website like Unsplash. I'm just going to click on upload image and drag an image here that I already saved to my computer. Because I teach an art class, I'm going to be loading an image of pastels so that my students can associate that with their class and find it more easily. Now, the image loaded beautifully. I just gotta make sure I scroll down and select update course details so that saves for me. Otherwise, it's gonna go to no image by default. So make sure you always click the blue button so that it saves your progress going forward. Alrighty, while we're in course details, a lot of peers ask me, how can I put my announcements on the home page? I want my students to see the announcement first thing because a lot of students will claim they never saw the announcement. This is BS. But we want to make it a little bit easier for them to find. If you guys scroll down from course details, you will find more options. I'm going to click the more options button, and then it lets me select this option that says show recent announcements on the course homepage. This will make it easier for students to find the announcements because it's the first thing they're going to see when you load the homepage. Now you can select the number of announcements you want them to see. If you want them to just see 1 announcement at a time, 2, 3, whatever, you have the option to select however many you want them to see. I maybe just want to select 2. Right now I don't actually have any announcements created, so it's not really gonna matter, but I'm just gonna select 2 number of announcements. And as always, anytime you make any changes to your course settings, please select update course details at the bottom. All right. One other thing my peers will always forget to do is work on their course navigation. This means what can students see when they load your course on Canvas. So course navigation refers to these tabs that you see on the left-hand side. Now, there's a very easy way for you to hide those things that students aren't gonna need to use. What I'm gonna do is I'm still in my settings. I'm gonna flip over to this tab that says navigation. And here I can basically drag and drop items that I don't want my students to see underneath and hide them. So for example, I don't really want them to go to the rubrics page because it's just going to confuse them if they see a lot of rubrics that don't have assignments attached to them. So I'm going to click where it says rubrics and drag underneath. I'm going to go to collaborations and drag underneath. I'm going to go to Newsela and drag underneath. So whatever you don't want your students to see, you want to drag and hide it. And I'll tell you why this is important. I'm going to say maybe 2-3 years ago, I had a student working on one of his science courses, and I noticed that the course navigation was insane. The teacher had left everything visible. And I said, how do you find your assignments here? And he told me, you know what, this is a mess. I have no idea where my homework is half the time. There are 3 assignments called assignment 1 in here, and basically I have to guess half the time to know where she put all this stuff. And that's a really horrible thing for your student to say about your Canvas course. So do yourself a favor, edit the navigation, and once you have edited it to just what you want your students to see. So in this case, I just want them to see 4 things: home, announcements, modules, and grades. If you want them to see something else, you can drag it up. If you don't want them to see announcements, fine, drag it down. But just make it easier for students to go and find the actual course information that you want them to see. You don't want them to get confused by a bunch of other tabs that are going to lead them to a bunch of strange places. Anytime you edit the navigation, please go ahead and click the save button so that it saves your progress. Alrighty, this is the configuration that I want my students to see as far as the navigation goes. This is what's recommended by my district. If your district recommends that you show something else, fine. The next thing I want to go over is the home page. So I'm going to go back and click on home. By default, what's going to show up on your home page is your modules. If your district recommends that this is how it shows up, fine. I don't want it to look like that. I want my students to see a more welcoming message to the class. Oh boy. Sorry, I had to pause for a minute to see what was wrong with my little guy. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a different home page for my students to see every time they load the class. And the way I can do that is on my right hand side, I go right here where it says choose home page. And you are able to select different things for your students to see. Now, if you followed my City Labs tutorial, which you should, and created a really amazing home page, then maybe you want to select one of the pages you designed. Right now, I haven't really messed around too much with this class, and I'm going to select syllabus, and I'm going to click save. Alright, so because I haven't really done a lot of work with this class yet, all I had done with the syllabus is included this picture and a little welcoming message and some fictional information for how the student can reach me. But the reason I like to put the syllabus as my homepage is because it gives students a little course summary at the bottom of all the assignments they have to do and by their deadlines. And this is a really good reminder for students. It shows up on their to-do list. There's no way that they can possibly say, I didn't know, because we know they're lying. If you go to the homepage, it's going to tell you specifically what assignments they need to do, when they need to do them by. Now, because I had gone to my settings and put it so that they would see recent announcements, you'll see that I have a little heading here that says recent announcements. I haven't created any yet, which is why I have no announcements done so far. So I'm just gonna go to my announcements page real quick and create a random announcement so you guys would see what that looks like. Alright, so I'm just gonna create a random announcement, which I'm gonna call example announcement. Come on, little guy, we're filming a video here. I guess he was just hungry. So this is how I'm gonna have to feed him to finish this video. So anyway, I went to my announcements. I'm just calling this one example announcement. Just gonna write testing in the body of the announcement and scroll down and save it, so that when I go to my home page, you guys will be able to see what that's gonna look like. Alrighty, so I created the announcement. I'm gonna go to my home page now. Alright, and now that that loaded, you can see what that example announcement looks like on my home page. And that pretty much sums it up. This is what typically my peers will forget when they're setting up their courses on Canvas. Just make sure you always click publish so that your students can see the course that you spent so much time designing and working on. Give me a like if you are a mom and you understand the struggle, because my God, this is a lot of work. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.